quietest it seems like it's ever been. They've got people so they can't go out and about at the restaurants or bars and that stuff. I had an experience the other day. I was going to check some mushroom patches in Northern California, and I was driving down the road, and some guy went flying by me. He was in a big hurry, real fast. And then I go not even probably a few miles more up the road, and there he is, crashed on the side of the road. He'd hit trees, and on his driver's side it was all smashed in. And so I stopped and called 911, and I started hiking back down to where his vehicle was, where he was, and a gal had stopped too, and there were some other people stopping too, and she pulled the airbag back. She was down there before I got there from where I parked, and he was unconscious, and he almost seemed to have a content look on his face, I guess is how I kind of saw him. But anyway, he was not alive anymore. He was dead, and it just made me think about life some more, why I had this experience and how fast 1 minute you're driving down the road and next minute you're not in your body, in the physical body anymore. How quick things can change. It's kind of gets your attention. He was only like 44, I read in the paper, from Crescent City, which is down in Northern California. But it was interesting. He was definitely, driving really fast, unusually fast, even for people that drive real fast. But that was an experience the other day that makes you think about life, how quickly it can change.
I had a guy drive by me yesterday, or towards me actually, and I've seen this guy, I believe, around here before, and I've had people patch out in front of my out on the road a number of times. And I had a guy when I went over to this golf club area patch out in the parking lot. It was so weird. He wasn't leaving. He was inside the parking lot. And I was talking to these guys, and I said, oh, that's one of the Trump people. I mean, these experiences where this guy last night, I was going home, and he was driving the other direction, and really, really fast. And I have some experience because I have a new car that I can drive very, very fast. I mean, 110 miles an hour, and I don't even hardly feel like I'm going 50 in it. But the thing is that this guy went by me so fast, and I was thinking of the same thing. Sometime down the road, I'm going to see this guy looped around a tree. But it just occurs to me that there's a simultaneousness to everything that we all are experiencing and or getting references to in our own way, our own personal way, that is but a reference of a much larger thing. Something like, well, everybody seems to be on a head-on course to death or ending their life. They really almost following this impelled path that they willingly want to go on. We had 2 people in the hospital last week also, other things. It doesn't really matter the details. I wanted to reference that in this sense, for myself, with New UU, I am constantly getting references and or connect points or what have you. And so I will say, related, I really appreciate like hearing what Kevin said today, because I'm going, you know, dot, 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 dash, 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 you know, with that. And, you know, these, everything that comes through or is being shared has this referencing because it's from the real side, it's from the real, and what Dwayne is presenting, and I really recognize that. And so I'm just saying, you know, yeah to the preacher here or whatever, but you know, I get that, you know. I see people have this experience, and I see many people really have a, you know, a hopelessness in them, and they, you know, the hope, faith, belief thing is falling away, or it may not be falling away, it's actually increasing and becoming, I mean, that whole thing is just, you know, they're, what do you call, doubling down, tripling down, you know. So I think one of the reasons that you said that things are so quiet, people aren't going out, is also because they have implemented their agenda and they have completed this almost completely at this point. You know, this month, I think one of my references relates to what, I don't want to use them, but one of them relates to what you just were all talking about, the astronomer and the Tartarian viewpoint and all that, related to the reality that we're experiencing or that's been presented. And even if you have a real history or real, let's say, astrological or solar or whatever knowledge that presents these details, it's still not the real thing, and it's not more than anything else. It just is something that will share that this process that's going on, and then maybe something of our ability to actually break through and have the and others break through finally, you know, after being told for, like myself, many times over and over, but or the other group that is a much larger group of people who really don't want to hear anything about it, or if they do, they might recognize what you're saying, but that's it, have no place to go, or they don't have any willingness whatsoever to include it and become an inclusion, you know, not with the society movements or the social, cultural, human, or the larger thing that's going on, with just whatever word you have for that. So that's how I pulled together what you're saying, and that feeling of, you know, it could all change in a minute type of thing, or the fatalistic thing, which is, well, I'm not going to be around here to really have more to do or say about it, so to speak, which I'm not so sure that's true, actually, even after death at all. But I don't know, that might be a thing to ask about. And if I made that question clear, I wouldn't mind someone speaking about that. You know, how much we retain, or how much, you know, going beyond the literal view, how much we're really with it, to be able to continue, well, let's say, this work with the new guides and so forth.
Yeah, Paul talked about the death wish, and the controllers seem to be like activating this within people through the environment we live in these days. And this guy this guy may have set this up for you. I don't know. There may be, a lot going on with this crash that you saw, Tim, but it was for you, the crash to help you see more. And he could have done that to himself, because whatever. We were watching the Queen's Gambit last night on Netflix, and the mother of the gal who's a chess player, she ran into a truck purposely just because, of her situation. She couldn't figure anything else out, so she did herself in, and the girl lived. She was in the back seat, but it's just the state of the world today, how the fear is really like amped up for people to like be afraid and be desperate, despondent, depressed, and don't know where to turn. So it's just purposely created like that. It doesn't have to be like that.
I just want to comment. I've been watching. I watched the Queen's Gambit, the whole thing. Very interesting. Related to, I guess you could relate it to the game playing, aspect of everything. It's always involved, the competition and all of that related. But thanks, Val, very much.